What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Bivens. You may know me from my YouTube page, Life of the Party Entertainment. You may know me from my Facebook page, Bivens or Jeremy, or even on Twitter _Bivens. But my topic of today is Blackberry 10. OS was just announced. I've been reading a lot of stuff about it. I'm like a tech guy, not really, kind of, sort of. But I've been reading a lot about it, and I've been kind of getting some news information and stuff about it, and I think it's really refreshing. I think it's a really good look for the operating system, but I'm not completely sold on it exactly. I like the specs of it. It is a 2012-2013 device. Processor, all that's really good. I think that the initial size of the phone is good. I like the keyboard. I like what they've done with the camera. I like the Blackberry hub. I think all that's great. But what I was thinking a couple of days ago was, if this were my phone, if I were the one who made the Blackberry, is this what I would bring to the public? Is this what I feel would put me over the top and make me a top competitor with Android, Apple, or Windows Phone? And honestly, with what BlackBerry has released with us, maybe I'm really interested in it. I'll probably go out and get me one. But is it what I would produce? No. And instead of just bashing something and saying I don't like it, I like to give you what I would do instead of what they did. So what this video is what I would have done with my first BlackBerry, with BlackBerry 10. Given what they had, what product design brings to you, what changes would I make before I release it? This is it. You may like some of my opinions, you may hate some of my opinions. One way or another, they're my opinions. Just mine. If you like them, agree, thumbs up. If you hate them, thumbs down. Comment, tell me what you would change. But let's jump right into it. I will start with the screen size. I'm not saying that BlackBerry came out with a bad size screen. I think it's actually roughly in there with the Galaxy S3. And we all know the S3 is a pretty nice sized device. I think BlackBerry's just a tad bit smaller than it. However, if this were my first device, I want to turn heads. I want you to look at my phone as soon as I pull it out of my pocket and say, dang, that's that BlackBerry. So I would actually give it a much bigger screen size, a much bigger device. What I did in this picture here is took the screen, roughly the screen size of the S3, put it on the BlackBerry, then enlarged the BlackBerry. And you may notice I also did an edge-to-edge display. Why? Because edge-to-edge display is cool. Why not? This is a top device. Why not give you edge-to-edge? Why give you a huge bezel? Next thing I would do is completely rebuild the home screen. Just to be honest with you, I don't like the 4 apps on the screen. I think it's kind of ugly. I would erase all of that and I would start fresh, start new, start brand new. Starting with the wallpaper. I don't know, but I would definitely make sure that I had the option of a live wallpaper with my BlackBerry. Why? Just really because it's an option that I can have. And I know it slows down the processor, you get lag. Well, guess what? Don't have to use it if you don't want to, but I think that having the option to use it is something that you should just give me because I deserve it. Next, I would remap the keys on the phone. I would take the camera key and give it a physical button. I don't like the power button on the top, but I'll leave it there just for the sake of not having to change everything in the world. I actually like them on the side, and I will kind of want to adopt it on the side maybe in the future. But I would also put the charger port on the bottom. Sorry, iPhone, I know that you did it first, but it's a great idea. And what do you do when you see a great idea? You adapt to it, you may move to it, and you kind of keep it moving. So that's the next thing I would do. Next, I would actually redo the on-screen keys. Now, the motivating factor for this is mostly because the keys that are on your phone, you're going to need to use the most. And this, like I said, this is a BlackBerry device. It needs to be business. It needs to move at the speed of business. So the keys need to be the most functional as possible. So your phone key, I give you that. I'll leave the phone key the way it is. I would get rid of that search key, and I would replace it with a dedicated BlackBerry key that will be multifunction. Tap for one function, hold for another, and I would take the camera key that I moved to the side, and I would make that a back key. You don't know how many times I'm in a web page or I'm doing something in apps, and I just need to press back real quick. I think that back is kind of important. You may disagree, but I think it's an important key to have. Honestly, I don't search that much on my phone. I don't just need a search button on my phone. So that's why I got rid of it. And with the camera button, I don't know how many times businessmen really just say, oh God, let me take a picture of that. I wish I had a dedicated camera button on my screen to do that. And by putting it on the side with a physical button, I think that kind of makes a little more sense than having it right there that could have been used for something else a little more functional. But for the on-screen keys, your phone button, of course, would be phone. Your BlackBerry button in the middle, if you just tap it, it'll take you back to your home screen. But if you hold it, it'll bring up a menu. You can actually kind of filter in your search bar or search, function into that menu right there, so you still have it, quick access to it. Then the back key, you tap it, will go back, and if you hold it, will bring it in your, recent apps. Next change, and it gets kind of radical here. If you remember on the old BlackBerries, you had the app tray at the bottom where you had your, your 4 or 5 most used apps always at the top of the screen. I would take that and I would put it on this BlackBerry. And for every reason in the world, if I'm in a business and I need to get to an app really quick, do you really want to search through your entire app tray to find one particular app? And if it's not the first most used or one of the 8 last used apps, you're going to be looking for it. So I would give the app tray at the bottom, and you could put whatever the four apps used the most are, you could put those there. And I mean, definitely be able to hide that tray of keys if you needed to. So, maybe you could raise it up to have 2 rows, or drop it down for 1 row, drop it even further for no quick access to your keys. But you would also have that option to imagine if BlackBerry had 1 million apps for it and you downloaded all of them. Do you know how much trouble you would get into to try to find anything of use? That you needed to go to Twitter real quick. The T's are way at the end. So that means you got to do a quick search through your phone. I guess that's where the search key comes in at. But, I mean, come on. Let's just be a little more functional. So, one thing that I've noticed about phone users is it looks like a lot of people actually like their home screens. If you ever look at Android, you get a home screen that you could put, I guess, a clock, your most used apps, your picture or whatever for the wallpaper, for the background. Some people do that. I've seen it on iPhones where people actually take the whole first screen of apps, move them over into either folders or the second screen, just so that they can have that functionality of their home screen to be a home screen of a picture or whatever they want it to be. With the BlackBerry 10, you don't get a home screen. So a change that I would make is I would give you a home screen. And so what I would do is actually take those recently used apps and I would create what I called an app carousel during my original design. Forgive my poor Photoshop work of it. It's actually just a tray of apps. And what you'll be able to do is actually take it and be able to slide across for your most recently used apps, instead of having them persistently on the home screen. Another change I would make is access to my calendar. And I know you have your BlackBerry Hub, but the only thing I've seen with the BlackBerry is you can scroll up to see your next coming calendar events. But what about access to the calendar in general? What if I don't have an upcoming event, but I just need to pull out the calendar, put it in, and let it go? So what I actually did was put it into the notifications bar at the top. Well, But as far as design, that's really the only real radical changes that I would make to BlackBerry OS. But some other things that I was thinking about that I would probably want to change, or that I would look into, potential changes, is number one, Google Maps. Just use Google Maps. Apple already proved that trying to do your own thing just doesn't really work. I actually had it on my list of things to do over here, that I read that BlackBerry actually did do, and I'm proud of that, was making it easy to port apps from other OSs over to BlackBerry using the same style of APKs to get apps. That way you're not redesigning or remaking apps from iPhone, for Android, for Windows Phone, and then for BlackBerry. It just kind of makes it a little easier and more streamlined. So I saw that BlackBerry did that. I think that's really good. Something else I thought about was cloud storage. I haven't really heard anything, whether they were doing it or not, but that's something I would definitely look into. Apple has iCloud. Google has Google Music. I use it all the time. You could just get Dropbox, you get things like that, but come on, this is BlackBerry. I need to connect from my computer at home, computer at work maybe. I need this. I need to be, I need something BlackBerry to do it. If anybody ever had a Motorola phone, one of the newest, the Razr Droid 4, you see they had Motocast. Wonderful idea where I can connect to my home computer. Any file, any flyer I may have done, I can just pull it straight from my phone. BlackBerry, we need this for BlackBerry 10. We need it. Something else is better device names. I know it's kind of petty, but nobody wants to walk around saying, "Can I get the BlackBerry Z10, the Q10, or the X11?" Whatever the other names are going to be. That's really corny. Can we let's get stylish names? You know why? Because that's branding as well. When you say the Droid Razr, you know what I'm talking about. When you say the S3, you know what I'm talking about. When you say Z10, it's like, let me think of what model that is. If I'm not already familiar with BlackBerry, I won't know what you're talking about. So let's get stylish names for our phones. Let's bring that branding in. And something else, lastly, gestures. I don't hate the gestures. I think it's okay. It's cool. But I wonder, after continuous use of the phone, will these gestures begin to lag? And will it make me hate my phone even more because I can't get into these messages with my phone running apps in the background and my camera didn't close out all the way or something? How will that work in the future? It's just something to think about. And actually, lastly, development. One thing that made Android and caught the eyes of the masses is that people could develop things for it. New keyboards, new cameras, new anything for Android. And I know that it's because it's open source and it's free, and that's what Android was built on. And I understand that BlackBerry may not be like that. It may present security issues. I don't know, but that's something that kind of really grasped a lot of the Android community. So something that I would think about with BlackBerry is how much access to the system will users have? Say if they want to make any changes to better suit the user, will they be able to? If they don't like the camera that's made for it, will they be able to develop a new camera, use that camera? Just different things. I kind of just rambling off the top of my head. So different things like that. Will there be any development for the BlackBerry, or is it what you see is what you get, and I can't make any changes if I see fit? So that's about the last change or recommendation or thought that I would have regarding the new BlackBerry OS. Tell me what you think. You may think that my design, my BlackBerry, is a complete waste of my time and it's horrible. What would you change if it were your BlackBerry? How would you put it together? And what I'll leave you with is actually a few other pictures that I had photoshopped together that I didn't really kind of weave into the video. You could just see how some other features would have turned out with the larger screen size. Once again, Jeremy Bivens, Life of the Party, ENT, Two Fingers, deuces.